Hello and welcome to Restore 2023. We're reading today from 2nd Chronicles chapters 25 and 26. And the focus of the chronicler is still the evaluation of the kings that descended from David's. And actually, today's kings are marked with half-hearted devotion. And you'll notice here that his theme is that therefore you've got blessing and judgment. Chapter 25 starts with the usual information about King Amaziah. An overview of his reign, how he came about into his kingship after his death of the father, but also the chronicler carries on being visual as it points out on the preparation, execution, and the outcome of the battle against the Edomites. Positive in military terms, but fatal in terms of Amaziah's religious convictions. After the victory over the Edomites, he imports some idols into the Judah's place of worship. So the narrative, therefore, takes a turn for the worse. And the chronicler points out that the breaking point is when the king decided to turn away from the Lord. The last section of chapter 25 gives an account of Amaziah's battle against Israel, an incident that leads to his downfall, fleeing away to Lachish, and also a summary of his reign, death, and burial. And then the chronicler moves us next to Uzziah, son of Amaziah. Uzziah's reign provided his readers with another example of what it looks to be a half-hearted person. The chronicler included most of the reign of Uzziah that we read about in the book of 2nd Kings, and includes that account to the account of Chronicles. But there is a number of insignificant stylistic differences that appear here. But the chronicler varies the accounts in major ways to conform to his doctrine of divine blessing and judgment. So there is a difference between the account of Kings and Chronicles. For example, 2 Kings chapter 14 verses 23 to 15:1 is not mentioned here. So the chronicler omits this material because his main focus was not the northern kingdom, was Judah. Secondly, a word should be said about the name of this king. The Hebrew text of Kings calls him Azariah, whereas here he is referred as Uzziah in the whole of the chapter. So having said that, the chronicler himself used the name Azariah when he is giving the list of David's descendants in 1 Chronicles 3:12. So it is likely that this name was given to the king at birth and the other name at the time of his enthronement. But moreover, the chronicler may have used Uzziah consistently in this chapter to distinguish him from priest Azariah, who also appears in this chapter. And lastly, there seems to be more detailed information here than in the book of 2nd Kings. The chronicler edits chapter 26 verses 5 to 15 to illustrate how Uzziah received this divine blessing during his early years. And the rest of the chapter is a picture of how pride led to arrogance and ultimately to failure that led to the severe skin disease. Both of these major additions were necessary to shape Uzziah's reign into years of blessings and judgment. Uzziah's pride and arrogance kept him from listening to God's words and the priests that were there to deliver it, and therefore they kept him from repentance. He became angry, raging at the priests. And today we've been reading about two kings evaluated as half-hearted and disregarding when it comes to worship. Both unrepentant, both unfaithful, one who brings shrines and the other who burns incense. How will you be worshipping God today?